it's a very holistic approach for our health. You cannot like do just one thing and expect a great result at the end. So it's a combination. You are like treating your skin health, but if you need to also think about your diet, about your exercise routine, about how you are like mentally keeping strong and healthy. If you're finding purpose in your life, community around you. So there are a lot of like different things that you need to be aware in order to improve your wellness. So everything that you're eating, like our skin also represents what we eat. So a lot of times if you eat a lot of sugar or a lot of fat like processed food, you get pimples. Your skin like just start like showing like, reacting to that things that you're eating. So combining like different approaches is when you will have the best benefit. So when you associate like having topical treatment with a good diet, with remembering to keep yourself hydrating, drinking water, you're helping from outside in, but also from inside out, and then you have more benefits. It's always the combination of different actions that will lead you to best results than just thinking that, okay, now that I'm using this product, my problems are solved. I'll get rid of my wrinkles. But your skin is speaking to what's inside you, what's happening inside your brain, your sleep. Your sleep is so important for your skin as well, because if you don't sleep enough hours, a couple of days, you will see on the skin, like you start having like dark circles and like something's wrong.
I've been there. I'm a father. I know. So when my children keep me up at night, I'm like, oh my God, I can see it. I love what you said. Your skin is speaking to you about what's on the inside. Y'all just let that land for a moment. That was probably one of the most powerful statements you've made. Your skin is speaking to you about what's going on the inside. I think we all live such fast-paced lives, Alessandra, that it's easy to not even look in the mirror sometimes, or it's considered just vanity, right? But taking an honest look in the mirror is both emotional, spiritual, mental, physical. It's everything. When I look in the mirror, and I'm sure you've seen the little clip of the little girl where her dad puts her up on Instagram and she says, I am amazing. I can do anything. And she's there with her dad in front of the mirror. We have that little child inside of all of us. And what you're speaking to about the skin being this mirror of what's going on the inside, I really feel like this is a spiritual journey, because when you start caring about your skin, not just from vanity, also because you want to feel good and you want to look good, it's really pointing towards self-love. This is probably the main conversation that comes up once we get through the science of OneSkin. It's really about self-love. Taking care of your skin inside and outside is about loving yourself.
I totally agree with that.
How do you see that playing out?
Yeah, people should look more in the mirror to themselves, like, and notice, like, and hear what their body is telling them. So the body is telling us a lot through our skin. And we can also, like, by looking ourselves in our eyes, like when you look at the mirror and you look inside your eyes, you can be honest with your own self of what you're doing with your life, where you want to get, what are the actions that you need to take, and have this honest conversation with yourself can change like a lot of things in your life.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I can feel it from you. You look very young. You already said your age, so I'm not going to ask your age. You already said it, right? There's a difference, though, between chronological age and biological age, right? Health span versus lifespan. And we've explored this with many different companies on the show, like Clockwise and Cyfox and blood testing and fertility testing. Well, now I think about the way we can actually test our skin. Do you have a way, or do you know of a way where people can get the biological and the chronological age of their skin? Does that even exist?
So this, in our lab internally, like, it's one of the things that we developed, that's a molecular clock to measure skin's biological age, specifically for the skin. So when we build this clock, we analyze 500 samples of skin from different ages to determine the biological age of the skin. And we, on the samples that we have in the lab, we can extract the DNA and measure the skin biological age. So far now, like, to do that, we need a skin biopsy, which it does not make it consumer friendly, so we cannot like measure specifically the skin biological age. We are working internally in our lab to create a non-invasive way of measuring the skin biological age, but so far it's not available in the market, anything specifically to the skin. There are some tests available in the market where you can collect either saliva or blood and have a general look of your biological age. It's not specific to your skin, but always like represents if your general biological age is younger or older than your chronological age. Is also speaking to the skin. But what we've seen like on a lot of research is that each organ ages on a different pace. So for research, it's more specific if we look to the biological age of that specific organ. But yeah, so far we don't have available in the market how to measure the skin biological age, and you can measure like your overall biological age. And I have done this test, one of these tests with one clock available. I was so excited. The first time I did it was in 2020, and I repeated the test at the end of 2022. And I'm like 15 years younger on my biological age. And I was like, oh, that's how I feel. I think that's my real age, early 20s, not 30s.
Oh my gosh. Aging is a state of mind. And then, of course, a state of mind is actually how much you care about yourself, how much you love yourself. One thing I talked about earlier that I'd love both your personal and your scientific lens on is the microbiome, because it's so fascinating. We must have done, Alessandra, maybe 50 shows or more about the internal microbiome. But I think people forget, and I know I have at times, we have a beautiful microbiome, a super important microbiome on our skin. And right now on the screen for y'all watching on YouTube and Spotify, there is a clinical study that was done through HelloBiome and OneSkin. And I want you to unpack this for us so we can start to understand not just the senescent cells and the correction of pathways and the protection of the skin and the vitality of the skin, but also the microbiome. We've talked about this, y'all, so many times on the show, the inside microbiome. Share with us this study that y'all conducted with HelloBiome, and how did that actually play out scientifically and personally? What exactly was it?
Yeah. So skin microbiome is a whole complex like world as well that's starting to be more explored now. So generally the scientific community is still learning about the skin microbiome and how it's interacting with your skin to promote health or not, and even like to, while we are aging, how the skin microbiome is playing a role on that protection barrier of the skin, on helping becoming stronger or weaker. So it's not our expertise, skin microbiome, but we got interested to start understanding how our products are affecting the skin microbiome. So we conducted this clinical study where we sequenced the skin microbiome of 38 participants. And we look, so the skin microbiome is composed by bacteria and fungi, different species. And the balance of these different species is what like gets your skin to be healthier or be unhealthy. So what we saw, and then after 6 weeks using, and we did this first on our OS1 face product, after 6 weeks of use, we sequence again this skin microbiome and compare the changes. So we were very curious, and we had no clue of what would be the end result. But we know that our product is like on all the markets that we are looking, is reducing senescence, it's reducing inflammation, it's like improving the benefits of the skin, the markers of healthy skin. So somehow, and we we treat the skins in the lab. Somehow we were already expecting like a positive result coming there, but everything when you're doing research is new. And when we got the result, it was very interesting to see that our product is not dysregulating the skin microbiome, and is actually like bringing a better balance for that ratio of different bacteria than it was before. So especially like with aging, we lose some bacteria that helps on oil production, on the moisture of our skin. And this you're losing. That's why when we get older, our skin gets drier. It's one of the reasons why as well. And what's interesting to see this data that there is an increase on bacteria that helps to create that moisture on the skin. So we're not only not disrupting the skin microbiome, we are also like kind of balancing to a healthy state of skin microbiome. We still want to understand, and we'll need to do a lot of more research on how to associate this with aging and what is this like balance, what happens like with longer use and what's happening with the skin microbiome with the aging. But so far, this first data was very positive, and we now can say that our product, it's like promoting a healthy skin microbiome. That's also important to keep your skin healthier.
Make sure you subscribe to the podcast. Click the link if you want to watch the full episode, and I will see you in the next video.